Hi friends, in this episode I am going to speak about Sankranti, one of the popular festivals celebrated in India. Sankranti or Makara Sankranti is the first official festival according to the modern calendar, celebrated in January every year. It is celebrated throughout India with different local names. It marks many events like the migration of sun to a different tropic, a transition from an extreme cold to warmer climate, and harvesting of crops. Sankranti is a festival having a traditional, customary, and scientific significance, garnished with lots of celebration and fun. Here there is a traditional transfer of methodical celebrations and seasonal food habits from one generation to the other. In this context, we celebrate our ancestors and keep them alive in our hearts by celebrating age-old customs even after being on a busy schedule and amidst the no-time era. It is a festival which bonds hearts, families, friends, and communities. It also depicts the want of positive, optimistic, and healthy change in our lives, approaches, and attitudes. It is a festival of reaping new crops, thanking our soil and sun for allowing us to grow crops and to harvest happiness in the vicinity of a brotherhood. Sankranti or Sankramana means movement, transition, or transmigration. It is considered to be the festival of movement of the sun. The sun moves from one Rashi or zodiac to another Rashi every month for 12 times in a year and stays in each Rashi for a period of 1 month. Each transit is called a Sankranti or Sankramana. Thus, we have 12 Sankrantis in a calendar year. These 12 zodiacs are broadly classified into 2 ayanas, wherein 6 zodiacs are included in each ayana. They are Uttarayana and Dakshinayana. In Uttarayana, there is movement of sun northwards and is marked by the predominance of heat. In Dakshinayana, there is transit of sun southwards and is marked by a predominance of cold. The 2 Sankrantis or transit of the sun at the beginning of both ayanas are said to be important and auspicious. However, the Sankranti festival usually refers to Makara Sankranti or the transition of the sun from Dhanu Rashi, that is Sagittarius, to Makara Rashi, that is Capricorn, on its celestial pathway. This festival falls at the junction period where the cooler Margashira Masa or month ends and the warmer Pushya month begins. Here, the journey of the sun is northwards. The slow and steady movement of sun in Uttarayana is marked by longer days and shorter nights. Makara Sankranti denotes a period of enlightenment, peace, prosperity, and happiness. As per Hindu calendar, Makara Sankranti is celebrated in the beginning of Pushya month at the beginning of Uttarayana Punyakala when the sun enters from Dhanu Rashi to Makara Rashi, that is, when the sun moves from the Tropic of Capricorn to the Tropic of Cancer in the month of Pausha in mid-January. The traditional Indian calendar is based on lunar positions. Sankranti is a solar event. So, while dates of all Hindu festivals keep changing as per the Gregorian calendar, the date of Makara Sankranti remains constant over a long term, that is 14th January. It is one of the few Hindu Indian festivals which is celebrated on a fixed date, that is 14th January every year, or maybe sometimes on 15th January. This festival is celebrated for innumerable reasons and in different ways depending on the climate, agriculture, environment, cultural background, tradition, and location. This happens due to extreme cultural diversity in India. Sankranti is a major harvest festival. It marks the beginning of harvest season and cessation of northeast monsoon in South India. The festival marks a holy phase of transition. Many auspicious tasks, rituals, sacrifices are planned and executed in Uttarayana. The festival also marks the end of winter. Scientifically, this day marks the beginning of warmer and longer days in comparison to the nights. Sankranti also means the end of winter season and beginning of a new harvest season. Makara Sankranti is the festival of sun god. Sun is regarded as a symbol of wisdom and divinity. Sun comes with a message that rise and fall are essential parts of our lives and we need to live with them and respect them equally. We should rise ourselves and prove our worth after every fall. Sun also gives us the lessons of selfless generosity wherein he burns himself to ignite our lives. According to Puranas, on this day, Surya visits the house of his son Shani, that is Saturn, who is the lord of the Makara Rashi or zodiac Capricorn. Though they did not enjoy a good relationship, Surya meets his son on this day and lives in his house for a month. Therefore, this day symbolizes the importance of the special relationship between father and son. From Makara Sankranti, the day of Devatas or gods begins, which marks the beginning of an auspicious phase. Most of the auspicious works are done during this phase. Uttarayana is also called as Devayana. It is believed that on this auspicious day, Lord Vishnu ended the terror of Asuras or demons and buried their heads under the Mandara Parvata. Therefore, Sankranti represents the end of negativities and beginning of an era of righteous living. Maharaja Bhagiratha performed great penance to bring Ganga down to the earth for the redemption of 60,000 sons of Maharaj Sagar, who were burnt to ashes at the Kapila Muni Ashram near the present day Ganga Sagar. It was on this day that Bhagirath finally did Tarpan with the Ganga water for his unfortunate ancestors and thereby liberated them from the curse. After visiting the Patala or the underworld for the redemption of the curse of Bhagiratha's ancestors, the Ganga finally merged into the sea. A very big Ganga Sagar Mela is organized every year on this day at the confluence of River Ganga and the Bay of Bengal. Thousands of Hindus take a dip in the water and perform Tarpana for their ancestors. It is believed that the person who dies during the period of Uttarayana becomes free from rebirth. According to Mahabharata, Bhishma declared his intent to leave his mortal coil on this day. He had the boon of Ichcha Mrityu, that is, death at his will, from his father, so he kept lying on the bed of arrows till this day and then left his mortal coil on Makara Sankranti day. The Sikhs celebrate it as Maghi. The 10th Sikh Guru, Guru Gobind Singh, gave mukti to 40 Sikhs on this day. They later came to be known as 40 Muktas. Sankranti is celebrated all over South Asia with some regional variations. In India, it is called as Makara Sankranti or Sankranti in most states including Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. It is called as Pongal in Tamil Nadu, Makaravilakku in Kerala, Uttarayan in Gujarat and Rajasthan, Maghi in Haryana, Punjab and Himachal Pradesh, Khichdi in Uttar Pradesh, Magh Bihu in Assam Valley and Shishur Sankrant in Kashmir Valley. It is celebrated as Maghe Sankranti in Nepal, Songkran in Thailand, Moha Sankran in Cambodia, Thingyan in Myanmar and Pi Ma Lao in Laos. In India, the festival is celebrated in different ways in different states. Now let me tell you about some of these variants of celebrations. In Karnataka, the festival is celebrated as Makara Sankranti. It is also called as Suggi or Harvest Festival, especially by farmers of Kaveri Basin. A ritual called as Ellu Birodu is practiced in Karnataka, wherein young kids, especially female kids, visit relatives and neighbors with a Sankranti offering in a plate or assorted in specially made bags or covers. The plate would contain ellu, that is white sesame seeds, mixed with fried groundnuts, pieces of dry coconut and finely cut bella, that is jaggery. The mixture is popularly called as ellu bella. The plate will also have molds of sugar candy of various shapes called sakkare achu. Pieces of sugar cane are also given. People use a famous Sankranti saying in Kannada to wish each other when they exchange ellu bella. They tell ellu bella tindu olle matadi, which means eat the mixture of sesame seeds and jaggery and speak only good. Giving Marada Bhagina to at least 5 muttaide or happily married women is a traditional practice. Women give this offering to other poor women early in the morning on an empty stomach. It is considered as an auspicious beginning for festive season. Marada Bhagina is a tray prepared with cane or matted coir. All important ingredients of daily usage like rice, dal, grains, cumin, etc., along with dress materials like sari, blouse piece, and vermilion and turmeric, some money in cash, are kept in the tray and given to the other women. Some women give away elchi kai or red berries along with these ingredients. Kite flying is practiced in some parts of northern Karnataka. Groups of women meet to decorate the surroundings of their home with rangole. In rural Karnataka, a ritual called as Kichu Hayisuvudu is practiced. It includes displays of cows and cattle in colorful costumes in an open field. They are taken in procession and made to cross a pyre. In Andhra Pradesh, the festival is celebrated for 4 days. The first day, that is the previous day of Sankranti, is called Bhogi. On this day, the people light bonfires with logs of wood, solid fuel, or wood furniture which is not in use. This is called as Bhogi Mantalu. This practice teaches us to give way to new changes in our lives by making amendments of older concepts. Kids burn cow dung patties in bonfire and ask for longevity and fulfillment of their wishes to the fire god. The elders later give showers of Bhogi Pallu, which is a mixture of gooseberries, rice and coins to the kids, followed by Arati for health and prosperity. In many families, the infants and children are also showered by Indian jujube fruits called Regi Pandlu in Telugu. This is done to protect the kids from evil eyes. The second day of the festival is called Pedda Panduga, that is the big festival. On this day, everyone wears new clothes, offers prayers to God, and offers food to the ancestors who have died. Rangolis are made in front of the homes and cows are worshipped. The third day of the festival is called as Kanuma Panduga. On this day, people worship the agricultural equipments and the farm animals after decorating them. Uregimpu, that is, procession of Lord Shiva, is carried out. The fourth day of the festival is called as Mukkanuma. People in some parts of Andhra take non-vegetarian food on this day, which they haven't taken on the first 3 days of the festival. But this ritual also varies among different regions of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Fun games, mainly cockfights, are carried out in Andhra during the festival. Haridasu goes around the village or town to every home early in the morning, accompanied by colorfully dressed cow. He sings songs of Hari, that is Lord Vishnu. Kites are flown from terraces and the entire family enjoys it. Goddess Saraswati is worshipped at some places. In Tamil Nadu too, the festival is celebrated for 4 days. The first day is called as Bogi and is celebrated in the same way as the people of Andhra celebrate. Thai Pongal is the second day and the main day of the festival. Early in the morning, the celebrations begin by boiling rice with fresh milk and jaggery in new pots. This is added later with sugar, cashew, and raisins. The contents are boiled till they overflow the vessel. Pongal means to overflow. People shout Pongalo Pongal once the rice boils and bubbles out of the vessel. People then blow the conch to announce that the year ahead will be a blessed one. The new rice, which is boiled, is offered to the nature at sunrise as a mark of thanking the sun god and nature. Later, it is served to the people in the house. People visit each other and greet on the occasion while enjoying delicacies like vadai, payasam, and murukku. The third day of the festival is called as Mattu Pongal. On this day, people offer thanks to the cattle. They decorate them with paint, flowers, and bells. The cattle are allowed to roam free and are fed with sugarcane and sweetened rice. Jallikattu, or Taming the Wild Bull contest, is held in some places. Kanum Pongal marks the fourth day of the festival. People visit their friends and relatives and enjoy the festival. They thank relatives and friends for their support in the harvest. Kolam decorations are made during Thai Pongal festival in front of the homes. In Kerala, the Makara Jyoti, the divine light, is seen at the top of the mountain at a famous shrine of Shabrimala or Shabrimalai, as it is called. This is followed by the Makaravilakku celebrations. On this occasion, thousands of pilgrims and devotees gather at the holy shrine to get a glimpse of the light and also to have the darshanam of Lord Swami Ayyappa. In Maharashtra, people exchange halwa and tilgul laddus. Puran polis are enjoyed as delicacies. People greet by telling Tilgulgya ani Godgod Bola, which means accept sesame and jaggery and speak sweet words, similarly as people in Karnataka tell. Haldi Kumkum is a traditional ceremony wherein married women are invited to get together. Gifts like utensils and cloths are given along with turmeric and vermilion. Women wear black saris or black colored outfits for this occasion, which is supposed to keep them warm. People also fly kites on this occasion. Maharashtra and Goa celebrate the festival alike. Women folk are involved in Haldi Kumkum custom, wherein the auspicious turmeric and vermilion are exchanged. Gujarat celebrates Makara Sankranti or Uttarayan as they call it for 2 days. First day is called Uttarayan and the second day is called as Vasi Uttarayan. Kite flying is an important event of this festival in Gujarat. In the major cities of Gujarat, it appears as though the entire sky is made up of kites of various colors. When people cut down the kites of other people, they shout Kai Po Che in Gujarati language. People feast on special delicacies like undiyu and chikkis. In Punjab, huge bonfires are lit on this occasion and the festival is celebrated as Lohri. Sweets, sugarcane and rice are offered to bonfires. Friends and relatives gather around the fire. The next day is celebrated as Maghi. People take baths in rivers on this day. Lamps are lit with sesame oil. People enjoy performing bhangra. Among various delicacies, kheer is the prominent one that people consume. In Orissa, people prepare delicacies like maker chaula, rasagola, khai and chena puddings and offer them to God and goddesses. Sun god is worshipped at Konark temple. Makar Mela fair is observed at Dhabaleshwar in Cuttack and many other shrines at Odisha. This festival is observed as Nabanki and Uttarayana Yatra in the temple of Lord Jagannath. People in Bihar take bath in rivers and ponds on the auspicious first day of Makara Sankranti or Sakrat or Khichdi as they call the festival. Later, they feast upon seasonal delicacies like chura, gur, various sweets made up of til such as maska, tilva or tilkut, curds, milk and seasonal vegetables celebrating the harvest. People fly kites at some places. The second day is called as Makrat. At the beginning of the day, people worship and put sesame seeds into the fire. Later, they eat dahi chuda along with tilkut and lai. People also relish kohada ka bhujia, a red pumpkin recipe. People also enjoy eating a special meal called khichdi, especially at night. The festival is also called as Khichdi because such grand recipes are prepared only once in a year on the occasion of Sankranti. In Himachal Pradesh, this festival is called Magha Saja, which means the start of Magha month. Early in the morning, people take a dip and shower in bawlis or water springs. During the daytime, they enjoy khichdi with ghee and chas along with family and friends. On this day, it is said that the migratory birds return to the hills due to the change of season. People engage themselves in singing and folk dance called Nati. In Uttarakhand, it is said that from the day of Uttarayani or Guguti, the migratory birds start returning to the hills. People take dips in holy rivers, participate in Uttarayani fairs and give khichdi in charity while celebrating the festival of Gugutiya or Kale Kawa, which means black crow. People make sweetmeats out of flour and jaggery and ghee and give them the shape of drums, pomegranates and swords. They are strung together and worn as a necklace. In the middle of the necklace, an orange is fixed. Children sing Kale Kawa to attract crows and other birds and offer them parts of these necklaces. This marks the welcoming of migratory birds. In Rajasthan, Makara Sakrat is celebrated with sweets like ghevar, til pati and kheer, even as people enjoy traditional kite flying. People get together for special festival meals called Sakrat Bhoj. In Uttar Pradesh, taking the holy dip marks the festival. Thousands of people at Allahabad, Varanasi and Haridwar, which is now in Uttarakhand, to take the holy dip. People also fly kites. In West Bengal, the festival is celebrated as a harvest festival, Paush Parbon. Freshly harvested paddy along with date palm syrup in the form of Kejurer Gur and Patali is used for preparing a variety of traditional sweets. The festival is celebrated for 3 days. Lakshmi Puja is conducted. Millions of people take a dip in Ganga Sagar. Many melas or fairs are held on Makara Sankranti, the most famous being the Kumbh Mela, held every 12 years at one of the 4 holy locations: Haridwar, Prayag, Ujjain and Nashik. The Magh Mela or Mini Kumbh Mela is held annually at Prayag, and the Ganga Sagar Mela is held at the head of the Ganga river where it flows into the Bay of Bengal. Makara Mela is held in Orissa. Tusu Mela, also called as Tusu Porab, is celebrated in many parts of Jharkhand and West Bengal. Sankranti is a festival for harvesting happiness in our and others' lives. Let's forget the old things, burn or bury them, reform ourselves, and develop an insight and vision of tolerance. Let us spread the message of love and brotherhood. Let us all try to be happy and let others be happy too. ಎಳ್ಳು ಬೆಲ್ಲ ತಿಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಆಡಿ, ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದನ್ನೇ ಮಾಡಿ. Happy Makara Sankranti to all of you. Thanks for listening. If you have loved this episode, share with your friends and good circle. I will catch up with you all in my next episode with yet another interesting story. Bye for now.